my name is Jen. I'm an adult services librarian, but today I'm cooking with my kids. We are going to make a recipe from the book called The Complete Baking Book for Young Chefs. It's from America's Test Kitchen. And Brendan, what are we making today?
We're making chocolate crinkle cookies. It makes 12 cookies. Total time is 50 minutes plus 30 minutes cooling time.
Okay, so what's the first ingredient we need for chocolate crinkle cookies, Bren?
We need a half a cup of all-purpose flour.
Okay, so we have our flour.
You need a quarter of a cup of Dutch processed cocoa powder.
Okay, we'll go with that cocoa powder.
A half a teaspoon of baking powder.
Okay, here's our baking powder.
You need 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking soda.
Baking soda, coming right up.
A quarter of a teaspoon of salt.
Okay, I have the salt. That's behind me.
3/4 of a cup packed brown sugar.
Okay, here's our brown sugar.
1 large egg plus 1 large egg yolk.
Okay, so we have 2 eggs.
Where is it? Half a teaspoon of vanilla.
Okay, I have my vanilla.
2 ounces of chocolate.
Okay, so what's going to happen with the chocolate is this bunny is going to lose part of his body. We're going to use half of that bunny. That's 4 ounces of chocolate, and we're going to use half of that bunny for the chocolate.
2 tablespoons of unsalted butter.
Here's the butter.
A quarter of a cup of sugar.
Here's our sugar.
And finally, a quarter of a cup of confectioner's powdered sugar.
Okay, and there's the confectioner's.
So what do we do to start, Brendan?
We heated the oven to 325, and we got our ingredients. We got our equipment.
Okay, and then now we just put in the first few ingredients in this bowl. What was the step that we just did?
In a medium bowl, whisk together flour, cocoa, baking powder, baking soda, and salt.
Okay, so you can go ahead and whisk that together. Okay, so then next, what are we doing?
In a large bowl, whisk brown sugar, egg, and egg yolk, and vanilla until combined.
Okay, so we had to do an egg and an egg yolk. So that was a little tricky. We had to use this little egg separator thing that I have, but you can just do it using a spoon and a cup. It's a tricky part, so this was a part that I had to help with. Okay, so now you can pour the egg and the egg yolk in there, Brendan. Okay, and then you could just start whisking it up. This did get a little messy when we were separating the egg and the egg yolk. But nothing that we can't handle. Next comes the fun part of this baking project. The poor bunny is gonna get the chocolate bunny, but what are we doing next, Brendan?
Place the chocolate in the large zipper lock plastic bag and seal, removing as much air as possible from bag. Use rolling pin to gently pound chocolate into small pieces.
Okay, so when they say pound, Brendan, we're not pounding. So just gently try it now.
Roll.
You can kind of tap it a little bit. Okay. I had to take over this part a little bit. This is just really when we go to melt it in the microwave, it's gonna melt a little easier.
In the small microwave safe bowl, combine pounded chocolate and butter.
Okay.
Heat and microwave at 50% power until melted, 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay, so we're putting it in the microwave. We're doing, what did you say?
50% power.
Okay, so
Power level. Use oven mitts to remove bowl from microwave. Use rubber spatula to stir mixture well until combined and shiny.
Okay, so you want to stir that? That's what our poor chocolate bunny turned into. Go ahead, you could stir that a little bit. Adding the chocolate mixture that we melted in the microwave, the chocolate and the butter, we're adding that to the brown sugar mixture that we made before. And we're gonna stir this chocolate mixture together with the brown sugar mixture until it's stirring in this flour mixture that we also had set aside before. And we are stirring this together with the chocolate and the sugar until no dry flour is visible. So this is just going to take me a second to do, and then we're letting this mixture sit for 10 minutes at room temperature. Once we stir it so that none of the dry flour is visible, it's almost going to look like a brownie mix at this point, and then we're going to let it sit for 10 minutes. Okay, stop. It says use your hands to roll dough in 12 balls. So what we did was we put a 1/4 cup of sugar in one dish and a 1/4 cup of confectioner sugar in the other dish. We're gonna roll each ball first in the regular sugar and then in the confectioner sugar. Okay, I need you to stand back a little bit. I'm not gonna use my hands because I think it's gonna get too messy. So I have this little
Ice cream scooper.
ice cream scooper. Thank you. It's a small size ice cream scooper though, so it's making small little dough balls. So then I am just gonna use a couple of fingers to kind of roll it in one sugar and then roll it in the second sugar and then put it on our baking sheet like that. So we got 12 of the chocolate dough balls rolled in sugar on our baking sheet, and yes, that was messy. I admittedly did not have the 5-year-old help with that one because I thought it was going to be a little bit too much. So Brendan, what do we do next?
You place the dough balls on parchment-lined baking sheet, leaving about 2 inches between the balls.
Okay, they're a little close, but maybe.
After that, you place the baking sheet in the oven. Bake the cookies until puffed and cracked and edges have begun to set, but centers are still soft. Cookies will look raw in cracks and seem underdone.
Okay,
And
so
it's about 11 minutes.
11 minutes. Okay, so what we're going for here is a crinkle cookie. So basically, the book is telling us that the reason why we rolled it in granulated sugar first and then the confectioner's sugar is so that it'll help get that crackly, crusty exterior.